The times where people have to swallow their pain in order to save anyone's reputation, these times are over. These times are over. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm such an innocent angel, love and light, because I have hurt people in my life. Unintentionally, unconsciously. We all make mistakes, okay? I'm not talking about hurting someone here or hurting someone there, but then like standing up for it, asking for apology. I'm talking about really evil, malicious acts of hurting someone. If you are that kind of person, if you did these kind of things to someone, don't expect them to be quiet about it. Expect them to drag you to court about it. My whole life, I was being taught, when people mistreat you, when people do that or that or that to you, just be quiet. You don't want chaos. You don't want to like throw oil into the fire. No, because why is there even a fire to begin with? Because of me or because of you? I just stay in my own lane. I just stay in my own business. The only situation where there could be a fire is because you set a fire, and you set it between you and me. And then you expect me to just look at it, how it grows, like, and how it burns me alive because you said it? No, not going to happen. If you have something valuable, if you want to do something, if you have that feeling that you are here to have some kind of mission, that you are here to bring light to people, be prepared. Okay, my camera's sliding away. Be prepared to get attacked. And I read this quote the other day, and it was like something along the lines of, the devil only attacks you if he sees something in you that he wants to destroy because he knows how powerful it is. Something along the lines of that. I don't know the exact words. And then I realized, why is it that the people who really help the collective to grow the most, I'm also talking about a lot of female people in this, how's this called? Like in this niche on YouTube, like self-help, motivation, healing niche. Why is it that they are the ones getting the most attacked? Because out of like a spiritual side, yes, there are a lot of energies protecting them and guiding them, but also there are a lot of energies trying to sabotaging them. I don't believe that these kind of sabotaging things can ever really work for a long time. Maybe for like a period of time, but I believe ultimately at the end, love is always going to win. This is why whenever something happens to me, and don't get me wrong, you know, things can happen to me. I'm not like Iron Man or whatever, you know, things can get to my head, things can get to my heart, because at the end of the day, I'm also just a human, having a human experience. But at the end of the day, I know, okay, it will come back to them. Everything that you send out will come back to you. This is why I swear to God, whenever I see a comment, even if for a second this comment gets to my head because it really like talks about an insecurity that I have, I'm like, no. This person is actually sad. It's miserable. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about straight up hate. Going to your appearance, talking about your appearance, talking about how you pronounce things. Like, what the hell? I think the people who believe in success, they are never going to mock you for any of your dreams. The people who believe in failure, they are the ones trying to mock you for your dreams. Because if a girl comes to me in my DMs, and this happens very often, and she tells me, hey Alessia, I started to think about starting with YouTube as well, but I see you doing it and a lot of other people, like female creators, do you think there's even a room for me? And I always say, of course, you know, only your soul can teach what your soul is able to preach. I can never like give advice based on your soul. This is why there is no such thing, in my opinion, as oversaturation in any niche, because there's always place for you. There's always place for your soul. There's always place for your unique self. You can't be oversaturated. There is no other one like you. And this is what a lot of people have to realize, because we have this thinking of, oh, she's doing self-help videos and she's doing self-help videos, or this artist is always doing this and this artist is already doing this, and now no one is you. No one can do what you do. No one had exactly the life that you had. No one can teach out of your soul. There is no place that can be oversaturated with you, because you are the only one that is able to fill that place. And if you don't fill that place, nothing happens. But if you fill that place, that's your chance to grow. That's your chance to really rise up. That's your chance to show the world, this is who I am, this is how I want to contribute to the world, and this is what I try to teach to you. It says that authenticity is the highest frequency, even above love. And this is so interesting because I watched this channeled message on YouTube from this one girl. I love her account. And in one video she said, like, whenever she is scripting a video, it's not performing well. And whenever she's just going into her car and just hits record, the videos are performing so well. And she was thinking about that, and she came to the conclusion it's because whenever she speaks out of her soul, out of her mind, of her heart, randomly, like spontaneously, this is when she actually allows herself to be authentic. And I was like, wow, it's the same for me. Like, I never script my videos, but sometimes I make like key points. I write down the key points that I want to talk about to just have like kind of an outline, to not forget anything. But like the last time, I just randomly started recording myself, just as I do now, you know? I was not even thinking about what I want to say. I was like, okay, if you are in front of the camera, whatever my community needs to hear, it will come through me one or the other way. And then I realized, you know, we set so many rules and guidelines, and like I see it all the time, for example, with people who want to teach others how to do social media. They say, post at these times, use these captions, use these hooks. And I'm like, what the hell, you know? If you have so many rules about something that is supposed to be fun and it is supposed to like be something creative where you express your soul with, you take all of the fun away with it because you do such a business out of this. Like, post like 3 times a day at this time and this and this and this. No, just let your soul speak. The right audience will find to you if you let your soul speak. If you are fully authentic, 100% yourself. I realized this because I have this private account on Instagram. It's not really private. I have like 26k followers on it, but I'm much more myself on that account. And I have like an even closer connection to my followers in this account. And then I was like, okay, am I self-sabotaging myself with this? Because I actually don't allow myself to be this authentic self on my main account. I have like 340k followers on Instagram. And I was realizing, yeah, it's like that. You are holding yourself back from showing your authentic self to like more people because there's still something inside of you that is not feeling comfortable. I work on that right now, you know, because I also do a lot of shadow work. I'm questioning myself. I ask myself, okay, what is it that you really feel comfortable with? And I came to the conclusion the only time where I was really able to grow in any way, financially, personally, spiritually, is if I was really my true quirky weird self. Like I'm just weird sometimes. I'm just cringe sometimes. You know, sometimes I'm just cringe and I don't do anything about it because I'm allowed to be cringe. And you are allowed to perceive me as cringe. And this is what we have to realize. We want to like sculpt the opinion that others have about us by forcing them to see us as cool, as attractive, as intelligent. But real freedom is giving people the permission to dislike you. Is saying to people, you are allowed to think that I'm cringe. You are allowed to think that I'm weird. You are allowed to think that I'm annoying. You are allowed to do all of that. You are allowed to think all of that, but it's not going to change the way of how I show up to the world. I think in that lies true power. True power is not giving anyone the permission to change your true authentic self. For example, I'm very much into astrology because I always find new ways to understand myself. And my Mercury is in Aries. Let me explain this to you. Mercury is the sign that shows how you communicate with the world, how you speak. When your Mercury is in Aries, you speak very loud. You speak very like passionate, very fiercey, very just sometimes angry, sometimes aggressive, and that is just me. I have tried to be a soft-spoken girly for so long, guys, because I love soft-spoken girls. There's just something very seductive about a woman speaking in a very soft and warm and like seductive tone. I try to train myself how to do that because I know, you know, it's more attractive also. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I was like, hey, that's not me. that is not me. I am not a soft-spoken girl. I am very fiercey. I'm very loud. I'm very just, not even aggressive, but I am very verbal. I'm very loud. Not that I shout at people, but that also I talk very fast. What you guys also always tell me. And then I was like, you know what? Why would you change yourself? Because even the man, like my partner, is telling me, I love the way you speak. I love the way you are. I love it like when you get louder and all excited when you talk about something that excites you. And I just realized it's so true. Like the more we... Who is that? I always get paranoid. Like the more we try to change ourselves in order to fit this version that others have of you, the more we repel what is meant for us, because we can only attract what is meant for us if we allow ourselves to really be ourselves, This is why I think when you change yourself so much, or when you play these games in dating, or when you pretend that you are something or someone you are not, then you attract the people who fall in love with this mask that they see of you. And this is why later on in these relationships or friendships, it can happen that you get in a fight. Because from the very first time that you met them, you are not showing them your true authentic self. I have this app, it's called Astra. And on Astra, you can ask any astrology related question. For example, as I told you, my Mercury is in Aries, which stands for that I talk very loud, I'm a very expressive person. I tend to even scream a lot, and there you can ask everything. Like you can calculate your birth chart or the birth chart of your friends or whoever you want, and ask things about their birth chart, even ask how compatible you are with someone. And then you can get to know yourself so much better, and even the people around you. I love to do that. I always work with astrology. I always analyze people out of every perspective, if it's astrology or psychology or even personality tests. I just love to see to collect the whole picture of someone, and just see them from different views, So go check out the Astra app. I will link it down in my bio. So you guys, you really have to ask yourself, what is it that is stopping me from fully authentically expressing myself? Is it my family? Am I afraid that my friends will not approve of this version of me? Am I afraid that I will think I'm not good enough? You don't have to wear a mask. The times of wearing a mask, these times are over. These times are over. Even if you don't say anything, people will feel that energetically. When you meet someone, and for example, this is a very nice example. I have listened to this podcast, guys. This is what I wanted to tell you about body language. Very interesting podcast. Just type into YouTube body language podcast. It's with this woman. And she was telling in that podcast that in order to be charismatic, you have to have high level of warmth, but high level of competence. If you are too warm without having the competence, people will mistrust you because they think how do I say it nicely? They think you are fake. And this is what I realized, especially when I went to school years ago, with these girls that are overly nice. And I know they don't have any bad intentions, but they're oh baby or girl. I could never trust them. I never wanted to be friends with them because I was how can you be so nice? Be respectful, be friendly, but how can you be so nice? And you are so nice to everyone. Do you know this quote, a friend to all is a friend to none? I highly believe in that quote, because for me, if you get along with everything and everyone, you are Switzerland, it's just you are an opportunist, first of all, and second of all, you're probably a people pleaser. Because people who are like this, out of a psychological view, they are highly adaptable to their environment. This can be a good thing though, especially if they work in customer service oriented jobs. But what I have experienced in personal relationship, this is a thing that makes other people mistrust them. Because if you give yourself away so easily to everyone without testing them, without observing them first, without getting to know them better, people will just assume that you are naive. And if people assume you are naive, you are showing them, oh, I don't have any like safety rules for myself, and therefore they think, oh, if she has no safety rules for myself, how will she have safety rules for like the things that I tell her? If you are looking for love right now, or if you are in a place where you're like, universe, I'm ready, you know, I did all of the work, but I feel so lonely, I feel like there's something missing, I feel like I just want to find my counterpart, like my soulmate, I want you to just for a week be your full authentic self. Don't hold yourself back. Do the jokes that you want to make, like post things that you want to post, even on your main story, you know? I don't know, maybe you want to post something and you're like, oh no, I should post it for my close friends. Don't do it. Post it on your main story and see how the world reacts to this. Because let me tell you something, there is nothing more attractive than a person who is 100% themselves without any fear of judgment. There is nothing more attractive than this. I have to admit this, even if I don't like someone. And there are some people on social media who do content and I don't like them for whatever reason, are 100% themselves. And when I see these videos, it's mostly videos of a man. I will not, you know, say his name now, but I'm like, wow, he is 100% himself. And I get it why so many people think that he is attractive, even though he's very toxic sometimes and he's like very weird sometimes, but people think he's attractive. Why? Because he doesn't care for your approval, first of all, and second of all, he is 100% himself without caring what anyone thinks about that. The reason why people post like pictures of Kanye West or Scott Disick or any of these people and they say like, oh, if I would be myself and open my mouth, I would be like them, it's because secretly they wish they could express, what was that? They wish, guys, what is that? It's because they wish they could express themselves so authentically and so open. Because these people who do this, yes, they get cancelled, yes, they get hated on, yes, they have a drama here and a drama there, but at the end of the day, they go to bed at night sleeping and they're like, yeah, I have just spoken my mind, I have just spoken my soul. If you agree with their opinion or whatever, that's another case. But at the end of the day, they are fully themselves. And this is why they polarize so much. Let me tell you something about polarizing. Every person who is very famous, whether if it's like an actress, an author, an influencer, every person who is very famous and very viral, they have one thing in common. They polarize a lot. Polarizing means that people can either love you or hate you, but there's no in between. It means people will feel magnetically attracted to you because you are so much yourself and you don't care about if you have their approval or not. People who polarize get hated on a lot, get attacked on a lot, but they always get is a lot of fame and a lot of attention and a fan base that is beyond, I like you or thank you for your videos, a cult-like fan base, a cult-like community, because they are so much themselves. It's, in my opinion, it's better to polarize and to get hated on or to get disliked on, but to truly be yourself, than to compromise your soul, to put your own soul in a box that is presentable for the world to see and is digestible for the world to eat, to consume. This is what I would never want to do. I never want to be a digestible person. Do you realize how many souls there are living on Earth? Billions. You can never make it right for everyone. Never. You could do everything. I swear to you, you could never make it right for everyone. Example, when I got blonde, I had black hair, then I had like brown hair, and then I had blonde hair. When I got blonde, half of the people were like, oh, that looks horrible, I hate it. And the other half of the people were like, oh, I love it. What now? If I would have asked my whole community before going blonde, I would be like half blonde, half black by now. I had to listen to myself, and I will always listen to myself. I know some people don't like what I do, I know some people like what I do, but I always believe that my work will find to the souls who are meant to learn something from me, even sometimes to the souls who are meant to be triggered from me, because let's be honest, being triggered, you can be triggered into healing. You can be triggered into self-reflecting. You can be triggered into thinking for yourself, into going back into this introspective mode and asking yourself, why was she triggering me so much? I shared this on my story the other day because I was talking about how I don't eat meat. And I don't judge people for eating meat, but I know that when I post these things, a lot of people who eat meat get triggered. And I don't mean to trigger them, you know, you can do whatever you want, you can eat whatever you want. But then a lot of people wrote me, they texted me, they were like, I am thankful that sometimes you trigger me with the philosophical things that you say, because these are the things that I need in order to think about myself more deeply. And this is what I mean when I say you can get triggered into healing. I attracted the people automatically, the friends automatically who were meant to be with me the second I was like, you don't have to be this and you don't have to be that. And you don't have to be this crafted image to other people, this perfect, like, I'm always in a happy mood and I'm always happy to help. No, sometimes I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I get a panic attack. And I was always like, I can't let my friends see this side of me. I don't want to like be a burden to them. Until my friends were like, we want to see this side of you. We want to see the real and the raw Alessia. We want to have access to the soul of you. We want to be there for you in times of need. Because after all, what is a friendship? If you can just show like your best qualities to that person. You only go to that person when you feel happy. You only talk to that person when there's nothing on your mind, nothing on your heart. This is not friendship. This is like kind of work, you know, because you just put on a mask and you go there and you talk and then you go home and you're like, oh, I wasn't even myself. So now I show my friends, I tell my friends, oh, I'm so annoyed by this, I'm so hurt by this. I can even cry now in front of my friends. Years ago, never. You could like literally, you could like stab me. I would not cry in front of anyone. Now I can cry in front of my friends because I realized vulnerability is such a strength. Like, it takes so much, guys, and I think so many people don't realize this, to make yourself vulnerable in front of someone. It's like you give them the opportunity to hurt you even more, but you trust them enough that they won't. This is like such a huge sign of trust, to show them, hey, I trust you enough to take care of me when I'm this vulnerable, when I'm this soft, when I'm like literally on the edge of falling to pieces. Stomach is hurting. I have to end this video. I ate cheesecake. I think this is why my stomach is hurting. Why? I love cheesecake though. I swear to God, whenever I hear like just a crack, I'm like in fight or flight. Who would even be it, you know? No one is here. But still. Okay guys, I love you. Take care of you. We will see each other in my next video or in our dreams. Welcome, Amaris. Bye bye.